ExamPrep.School. Texas Adjuster Workers' Compensation Insurance Exam. Exam code InsTX-WCAdj32. There are 5 practice exams in this series. This video covers Practice Exam 1. The first 20 questions are free. In this video, we will be covering the following major categories for Practice Exam 1. Commissioner of Insurance, Insurance Terms and Related Concepts, Licensing Requirements, Marketing Practices, Policy Provisions, Workers' Compensation Core. Let's walk through the format. I'll read each question and its choices. Let's get started. Question 1. Which risk classification involves solely the possibility of adverse or neutral outcomes without any potential for profit? A. Pure risk. B. Speculative risk. C. Subjective risk. D. Objective risk. A countdown circle appears in the top right. Once it completes, the answer is revealed. You can pause at any time if you'd like longer to think. If you'd like additional practice covering more topics, see the description for our book. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is pure risk, because it involves only the chance of loss or no loss, without the opportunity for financial gain often associated with other risk types. Reason B is not correct. Speculative risk includes the possibility of profit, not solely neutral or adverse outcomes. Reason C is not correct. Subjective risk is based on personal perception, not outcome possibilities. Reason D is not correct. Objective risk is a statistical measure of variation, not a classification based on outcome potential. Question 2. Which of the following best characterizes speculative risk in insurance terms? A. A risk offering only the potential for loss or no loss. B. A risk offering potential for loss, neutral outcome or gain. C. A risk founded on individual judgment rather than empirical data. D. A risk measured by statistical deviation from expected outcomes. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is speculative risk, because it encompasses possibilities for loss, no loss, or gain, unlike other risk types that limit outcomes. Reason A is not correct. That describes pure risk which lacks any chance of gain. Reason C is not correct. That describes subjective risk, based on perception rather than outcome range. Reason D is not correct. That describes objective risk, a statistical measure, not an outcome classification. Question 3. Which of the following is an example of a physical hazard in workers' compensation insurance? A. Exposed moving machine parts. B. Intentional misreporting of hours. C. Careless attitude towards safety protocols. D. False statements on injury claims. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is exposed moving machine parts, because physical hazards are tangible conditions that increase the chance of workplace injury, unlike behaviors or reporting issues. Reason B is not correct. Intentional misreporting of hours is a moral hazard, not a physical one. Reason C is not correct. An indifferent safety attitude is a morale hazard reflecting behavior, not a physical condition. Reason D is not correct. False statements on claims represent moral hazard, not a tangible hazard. Question 4. A construction laborer with a minor ankle sprain repeatedly visits a preferred clinic, seeking supplemental aquatic therapy sessions and additional diagnostic ultrasounds without clinical necessity to amplify the insurer's benefit payments. Which concept best characterizes this conduct? A. Moral hazard. B. Moral hazard. C. Legal hazard. D. Physical hazard. The correct answer is A. Moral hazard describes insured behavior that deliberately inflates claim frequency or severity by requesting unnecessary treatments to increase indemnity payments. Reason B is not correct. Morale hazard refers to indifference or carelessness that leads to unintentional losses, not deliberate cost inflation. Reason C is not correct. Legal hazard arises from laws or regulations affecting claim outcomes, not policyholder actions to inflate claims. Reason D is not correct. Physical hazard is an inherent condition increasing loss, likelihood, not insured behavior to exaggerate expenses. Question 5. Which description best reflects the principle of indemnity as applied in workers' compensation insurance policies? A. The insurer may not pay more than an injured employee's actual economic loss. B. The insurer guarantees restoration of pre-injury earning capacity regardless of actual loss. C. The insurer compensates only the actual loss to prevent the insured from profiting. D. The insurer bases payment strictly on statutory benefit schedules irrespective of actual damages. The correct answer is C. The principle of indemnity in workers' compensation ensures that benefits restore the injured employee to their pre-loss financial position without creating profit, meaning compensation only covers actual loss. Reason A is not correct. This suggests insurer may not pay more than actual loss but fails to emphasize prevention of the insured's profit and the intent to restore pre-loss financial position. Reason B is not correct. This describes a guarantee of full restoration of earning capacity, even if it exceeds the actual loss, which conflicts with limiting compensation to actual losses. Reason D is not correct. This focuses on statutory schedule calculations rather than the core principle of preventing profit by matching compensation to actual loss. Question 6. Which statement accurately distinguishes actual cash value from replacement cost and property valuation? A. Actual cash value represents full replacement cost without deducting depreciation. B. Replacement cost includes market fluctuations, while actual cash value does not. C. Actual cash value equals replacement cost minus depreciation adjustments. D. Replacement cost equals actual cash value plus accumulated depreciation. The correct answer is C. Actual cash value is determined by subtracting depreciation from the replacement cost of property, reflecting the item's worth at the time of loss. Reason A is not correct. This inaccurately claims actual cash value ignores depreciation, which contradicts its basis on depreciated replacement cost. Reason B is not correct. Market fluctuations affect both valuations, but actual cash value specifically deducts depreciation rather than excluding market factors. Reason D is not correct. This reverses the relationship by implying replacement cost is derived from actual cash value, opposite of the correct calculation. Question 7. A, B, C. Manufacturing has a workers' compensation policy with a $15,000 deductible per injury. Employee Jones suffers 2 separate work-related injuries. For the first injury, combined medical and indemnity costs totaled $20,000. For the second injury, combined costs total $50,000. How much will the insurer reimburse ABC Manufacturing for both injuries combined? A. $0. B. $5,000. C. $35,000. D. $40,000. The correct answer is D. The employer pays the first $15,000 of each injury. For the first injury, costs of $20,000 minus the $15,000 deductible leaves $5,000 reimbursable. For the second, $50,000 minus $15,000 leaves $35,000 reimbursable. Total reimbursement is $5,000. The plus $35,000 equals $40,000. Reason A is not correct. This assumes no reimbursement, ignoring that costs above the deductible are covered by the insurer. Reason B is not correct. This reflects reimbursement for only the first injury and ignores the second injury's excess costs. Reason C is not correct. This reflects reimbursement for only the second injury and ignores the first injury's excess costs. Question 8. Which of the following is not among the essential elements required to form a valid insurance contract? A. Mutual assent. B. Competent parties. C. Consideration. D. Warranty. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is because the four essential elements of a valid insurance contract are mutual assent, offer and acceptance, competent parties, consideration, and legal purpose, whereas a warranty is a policy provision and not a fundamental element of contract formation. Reason A is not correct. Mutual assent is required for both parties to agree, making it an essential element rather than an exception. Reason B is not correct. Competent parties must have legal capacity to contract, so this is one of the required elements. Reason C is not correct. Consideration, typically the premium and promise to pay, is a fundamental element of any valid contract. Question 9. Under Texas workers' compensation insurance regulations, when does a contract become legally binding? A. Upon insurer's receipt of the application only. B. When the insurer issues a written binder or policy. C. Upon payment of the first payroll report. D. When the policy is countersigned by the insured. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is because under Texas Insurance Code procedures for workers' compensation, a binding contract is formed when the insurer communicates acceptance by issuing a written binder or the actual policy document, not merely upon application or payroll reporting. Reason A is not correct. An application by itself does not bind the insurer. Formal acceptance requires issuance of a binder or policy. Reason C is not correct. Payroll reporting is a post-issuance requirement and does not establish contract formation. Reason D is not correct. Countersignature by the insured is not required under Texas law for validity. Issuance by the insurer is the key step. Question 10. An applicant for a commercial property policy completes and signs an application, agreeing to pay the premium. The insurer issues a temporary binder effective immediately. In this context, what constitutes the consideration provided by the insured? A. Payment of the first policy premium. B. Insurer's promise to indemnify for covered losses. C. Statements in the application about risk exposures. D. Agent's issuance of the temporary binder. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is the payment of the first policy premium, because in insurance contracts, the insured's consideration is the agreed premium payment. Reason B is not correct. The insurer's promise to indemnify is the insurer's consideration, not the insured's. Reason C is not correct. Statements about risks are representations, not the value exchanged as consideration. Reason D is not correct. Issuance of a binder is an action by the agent, not the insured's consideration. Question 11. Which of the following is found on the declarations page of a workers' compensation insurance policy? A. Standard subrogation provision language. B. Effective and expiration dates of coverage. C. Detailed claims reporting procedures. D. Underwriting profit sharing formula. The correct answer is B. The declarations page lists key policy metadata, including the effective and expiration dates of coverage. Subrogation provisions, claims reporting procedures, and underwriting profit sharing formulas are located in other sections of the policy. Reason A is not correct. Subrogation provisions are found in the policy's conditions section, not on the declarations page. Reason C is not correct. Claims reporting procedures are part of the policy conditions or endorsements, not the declarations page. Reason D is not correct. Underwriting profit sharing formulas are internal insurer documents and do not appear on the declarations page. Question 12. An employer placed a binder with a Texas workers' compensation insurer effective May 25th, 2023 at 12:01 a.m. The formal policy declarations show an effective date of June 1st, 2023 at 12:01 a.m. and an expiration date of June 1st, 2024 at 12:01 a.m. If an employee is injured on May 28th, 2023, which date determines when coverage began under the policy period identification requirements? A. Policy expiration date June 1st, 2024 at 12:01 a.m. B. Policy effective date June 1st, 2023 at 12:01 a.m. C. Binder effective date May 25th, 2023 at 12:01 a.m. D. Injury occurrence date May 28th, 2023 at 9:00 a.m. The correct answer is C. The binder's effective date is correct because under Texas rules, a binder provides temporary coverage beginning on its effective date until the formal policy period starts. So the injury on May 28th falls within the binder period. Reason A is not correct. The expiration date indicates when coverage ends, not when it begins. Reason B is not correct. This date marks when the formal policy starts, but a binder can proceed and extend coverage before that date. Reason D is not correct. The injury date does not set the coverage start when binding coverage was already in effect. Question 13. Which condition in a standard workers' compensation policy grants the insurer the right to inspect the insured's payroll and record keeping for final premium determination? A. Notice of cancellation condition. B. Audit of records condition. C. Transfer of rights condition. D. Premium payment condition. The correct answer is B. The audit of records condition explicitly authorizes the insurer to examine the insured's payroll records and books to calculate the actual premium owed. None of the other listed conditions pertain to inspection or premium auditing. Reason A is not correct. Notice of cancellation condition governs policy termination procedures, not record inspection. Reason C is not correct. Transfer of rights condition deals with assignment of policy benefits rather than premium review. Reason D is not correct. Premium payment condition addresses when payment is due, not how the final premium is verified. Question 14. A, B, C. Manufacturing's workers' compensation policy expired 18 months ago. The policy's audit provision allows inspection of payroll records for up to 3 years after termination. The insurer requests the records to verify proper classification and premium. The employer refuses to provide them. Under the terms of the audit provision, which action can the insurer take? A. Retroactively cancel the policy as of inception and return any excess premium. B. Impose an additional surcharge equivalent to 25% of the estimated premium deficiency. C. Use the best available data to calculate and require payment of any additional premium. D. Refuse to cover any claims from the audited period until records are produced. The correct answer is C. The audit provision extends the insurer's right to examine payroll records post-termination, and if the insured refuses access, it may estimate the additional premium based on best available information. That estimate is final and binding. Reason A is not correct. This is incorrect because the audit provision does not grant cancellation rights but addresses post-termination premium adjustment. Reason B is not correct. This is incorrect because the audit provision allows estimation of premium but does not authorize a surcharge penalty. Reason D is not correct. This is incorrect because the audit provision does not permit denial of coverage but allows binding premium estimation. Question 15. Under the appraisal clause in standard workers' compensation insurance policies, after each party selects an appraiser, within how many days must the two appraisers agree on an umpire? A. 10 days. B. 30 days. C. 20 days. D. 15 days. The correct answer is D. The appraisal clause stipulates that once both the insurer and insured have appointed their appraisers, the two appraisers have 15 days to select an umpire to resolve valuation disputes promptly. Reason A is not correct. A 10-day period is too short. The standard clause allows a longer window to ensure both appraisers can coordinate and agree on an umpire. Reason B is not correct. A 30-day period typically refers to the overall appraisal demand window, not the specific umpire selection period. Reason C is not correct. Allowing 20 days exceeds the policy's specified 15-day timeframe for naming an umpire. Question 16. Under the Texas Insurance Code, which section specifically authorizes the commissioner to promulgate rules governing insurance? A. Section 36.002. B. Section 36.001. C. Section 36.003. D. Section 36.004. The correct answer is B. The Texas Insurance Code grants the commissioner explicit rulemaking authority in Section 36.001, which establishes the power to promulgate rules governing insurance. Reason A is not correct. Section 36.002 addresses procedural requirements rather than establishing rulemaking power. Reason C is not correct. Section 36.003 pertains to petitions and hearings, not the initial authority to promulgate rules. Reason D is not correct. Section 36.004 deals with rule review and amendment processes, not the grant of authority itself. Question 17. Before issuing an emergency order under the Texas Insurance Code, the commissioner must find that A. A pending legislative referral requires urgent action. B. The insurance industry will suffer only minor economic disruption. C. A unanimous vote of the department's governing board has been obtained. D. Immediate and serious peril to the public welfare exists. The correct answer is D. The insurance code requires the commissioner to determine that an immediate and serious peril to the public welfare exists before issuing an emergency order. Reason A is not correct. Legislative referral is not a prerequisite for an emergency order under the code. Reason B is not correct. Economic impact alone does not suffice. A public welfare peril must be demonstrated. Reason C is not correct. There is no requirement for a board vote before an emergency order can be issued. Question 18. Under the Texas Insurance Code, which section grants the Commissioner of Insurance authority to issue a cease and desist order? A. Section 81.011. B. Section 83.002. C. Section 84.006. D. Section 82.002. The correct answer is D. The Texas Insurance Code in Section 82.002 specifically authorizes the Commissioner to issue cease and desist orders against any person or entity violating the insurance laws or rules. Reason A is not correct. Section 81.011 pertains to licensing requirements, not enforcement through cease and desist orders. Reason B is not correct. That section governs nonprofit hospital and medical service corporations rather than cease and desist orders. Reason C is not correct. Section 84.006 addresses fire department suppression systems, not the authority to issue cease and desist orders. Question 19. A Texas adjuster knowingly submits a false workers' compensation claim form to the Texas Department of Insurance. Following a hearing under Texas Insurance Code Section 84.022, what is the maximum administrative penalty the Commissioner may impose per violation for this fraudulent act? A. $10,000. B. $25,000. C. $50,000. D. $75,000. The correct answer is C. This provision allows the Commissioner to impose a penalty up to $50,000 per violation when the act is fraudulent. as specified in Section 84.022. Reason A is not correct. That amount is below the authorized cap for fraudulent violations and aligns more with minor administrative fines rather than the maximum set by statute. Reason B is not correct. That amount is the cap for non-fraudulent violations, not fraudulent ones. Reason D is not correct. That amount exceeds the maximum penalty allowed for fraudulent violations under the statute. Question 20. Which of the following topics falls within the scope of a market conduct examination conducted by the Texas Commissioner of Insurance? A. Analysis of an insurer's claims handling procedures for compliance with statutes. B. Evaluation of an insurer's investment portfolio performance. C. Assessment of the actuarial adequacy of an insurer's reserve levels. D. Review of an insurer's solvency ratios and financial condition. The correct answer is A. The correct answer is an analysis of claims handling procedures because market conduct examinations focus on insurer practices related to underwriting, rating, marketing, and claims, not on financial solvency or reserve adequacy. Reason B is not correct. Investment portfolio performance is assessed in financial solvency examinations, not market conduct exams. Reason C is not correct. Actuarial reserve adequacy is evaluated in financial condition reviews rather than market conduct examinations. Reason D is not correct. Solvency ratios and overall financial condition fall under financial examinations, not market conduct scope. Enjoyed this practice test? Tap like, hit subscribe, and share it with a classmate. Got a question we should tweak? Comment below. We read them all. Find full practice exam books in the description or at ExamPrep.School.